Alright, so this is a suggestion via Discord. The name of the video is, How One NASA Image Tells Dozens of Stories. This is coming from the channel Neo. Let's check it out.
How much can a single picture tell us about ourselves? This is a composite image of several satellite photos. It can help us better understand the current developments and conflicts underway. The amount of light pollution is most severe in heavily populated areas, as well as in regions of high prosperity. In Europe, the Benelux region and the densely populated Po Valley are so bright that the individual towns blend into one big sea of light. Especially in the Arab world, the extraction of oil creates bright lights from the flaring of gas. And in Africa, you can trace the path of the Nile River, which, as the lifeline of Egypt, attracts civilization and is filled with commercial boats. In the mostly uninhabited regions of Western Australia, the satellites could even capture lights from wildfires that occurred over a span of 22 days. And in Asia, the Indian subcontinent is clearly standing out. Nearly 20% of the planet's population lives here. And the rapid population and economic growth can be seen by comparing the area from how it looked in 2012 and then again in 2016.
No, guys, you know the crazy part about this is, like, seeing a map like this, it does tell you, and most likely will express to you the reason why astronomers are having so many issues right now, kind of getting clear images of the sky. Guys, I mean, I do see that there are obviously areas where maybe brand new observatories can be placed, potentially, guys, right? But the light pollution is absolutely destroying the night sky, completely.
However, it's just as interesting to look at the regions where there is no light. The Syrian civil war, which has wiped out hundreds of thousands of lives, has darkened the country.
Bro, show me North Korea.
Due to the ongoing fights, the electrical grid is only partially available and the power supply is poor. Aleppo, the largest city in Syria, is considered an important cultural place. The old town has been a UNESCO World Heritage Site since 1986, but the war has almost completely destroyed the historic city.
Wow. Seriously, wow, guys.
The darkening can also be observed in Raqqa, which has long acted as the de facto capital of the terrorist Islamic State. When we see a city darken in these images, it shows the annihilation of a place and its history, and ultimately the end of many human lives. These black pixels in such an image can say a lot more than the lit ones. This also applies to the Korean peninsula. Right. While South Korea is brightly lit, North Korea is almost completely black. The metropolitan area around the capital of the South, Seoul, now has more than 25 million inhabitants. The population density here is twice that of New York City and 8 times larger than that of Rome. Also, the waters surrounding Korea are brightly lit from the numerous fishing boats off the coast. According to the UN Convention on the Law of the Sea, there are clear rules for how far off the coast a country may explore its resources. Additionally, there are several agreements between countries that regulate fishing. This creates odd shapes and perfectly straight lines, bringing to light the absurdity of dividing our planet into arbitrary legal zones. All these lights from South Korea and the waters that surround
Listen, what you just said is a lot stronger than I'm sure he thinks.
It stand in stark contrast to the north, where only the North Korean capital Pyongyang stands out a bit. North Korea's energy infrastructure is obsolete and power shortages are frequent. While South Korea is easily accessible, much of what happens in the north remains in the dark. And the strictly guarded border dividing both nations, the DMZ, is clearly traceable. This image may be the most impressive illustration of how big the impact of more than 70 years of division are. But the map also teaches us the long-lasting impact such separations can have, even those that have already been overcome. At the time of the Cold War, Germany was separated into East and West, and the city of Berlin was divided as well. And as a result of that, its city lights still appear in two different colors. The western part of the city was cut off from the rest of West Germany and relied on gas lamps because it wanted to be independent from a possibly failing power supply. Although Germany has been reunited since 1990 and this separation has been overcome for more than a quarter of a century, it can still be seen from space. This image points to the global challenges posed by the steadily increasing world population. And while man-made borders cannot be seen during the day, the lines of political origin become apparent at night, but appear all the more absurd and artificial. When viewed during daylight, the human influence on our planet is less obvious. But this single image highlights the social divides and political strife from both past and the present.
I mean, bro, well put. I never really thought that I would ever even sit and attempt to even think of this type of thing. 1 second, guys. Now, there are definitely a couple of places that would have been pretty obvious for them to be dark. North Korea, Eritrea, I would think Mauritania, Western Sahara. These are the places that I would think that these would definitely be dark places, and based off the map here, they absolutely are. Eritrea is basically the African North Korea, if you guys didn't know, right? We can talk about North Korea, but I think we should always kind of bring up the concept of Eritrea. Like us as foreign tourists can absolutely go to Eritrea, but just understand that there's a lot of political issues with the actual citizens themselves in this country, guys. So I would say that Eritrea is in fact a hermit kingdom, extremely similar to North Korea, and I would expect the same lighting scenario that goes on in North Korea would probably be happening also pretty much the same in Eritrea, guys. But all right, listen, you guys all have an absolutely amazing day. Let me know in the comments the next thing I should be checking out, all right? I'll catch you guys later.